Welcome to another episode of Assertiveness. I'm your host, Nicolette Mashile. I'm just going to jump right into it. Today's show, we're going to discuss the reason why South African youth, if we can even call it youth, because in South Africa, everybody's a youth, people don't really understand the 35 thing. But in any case, why they are apathetic towards politics, current affairs. We just seem to not care. It's just like, oh, well, whatever, I go to work, I come back. But what we do really care about is what's happening in the tabloids. It's what's happening on Twitter. It's what's happening on Facebook. And my biggest thing is, does that move South Africa forward? There's a slogan by a specific or some political party in South Africa. I'm not going to affiliate myself with any political party today that says, what, working together, something. But I feel like they are not working together with us because we are not there with them. We're not together. So who's working together? In any case, I'm joined in studio by three lovely people who are going to go into this discussion with me. We're going to talk about the reasoning behind is it apatheticness? What's it called? Dictionary. But in any case, why we just don't seem to care. I'm going to let the guests introduce themselves because here on Assertiveness, we don't take a point of assumption. We let you tell us who you are, where you're from, but we're gonna start this side because I want that gentleman there to say his surname so that I can link it to my name again. Because I feel like we'll get to that. Sir, how are you doing?
I'm very well, and yourself?
I'm fantastic. How was last night?
Very well.
Very well.
We were very busy.
Busy.
Yes.
Academics.
Yes, we studied till late.
Late exam. Cross night.
Yes, we're preparing for exam very early.
Very early. You must be preparation is the key to success.
Yes, we must plan.
Must plan your time, prepare for sure.
Very well.
Okay, anyway, tell South Africa who you are, what do you do?
I'm Stembiso Dlovu from Tshwane University of Technology, Social Mover Campus. I'm final year in B.Ed in education.
Lovely. High five. Are you going to be a teacher though?
Yes. Huh?
Teacher?
No. Yes, I'm going to be a teacher next year.
Next year, you're going to start practicals?
No, I'm done with my practical.
Oh, you're done with practicals. You're going to be a teacher.
Yes.
South Africa needs teachers.
Yes.
We're very excited. So, Mr. Ndlovu, where's home?
Home is in Newcastle, KwaZulu Natal.
Yo, what's in Natal?
Yes.
Where's it? Gauteng?
Yes.
Kumnandi la Gauteng.
But not like KwaZulu Natal.
So why didn't you study at UKZN?
No, I wanted to explore.
What have you explored so far?
I had many things. Gauteng is quite different from what is happening in KwaZulu Natal in most aspects. There is life generally, and we are able to interact with different tribes and so on and so forth.
Oh, in Gauteng?
Yes.
Okay, are you in a relationship?
Yes.
Is she Zulu? Why are you guys laughing? Is she Zulu, Tswana, Sutu, Shangaan, Xhosa? You said you have got an opportunity to interact with different tribes, so I'm assuming that's also an interaction, Mos.
She's Zulu.
She's Ulandum Zulu. So it's true that only Zulu women can handle Zulu men.
No, it's not true. It's not true. I was not aware that she's Zulu. We met in a different place because she's general from Gauteng.
Oh, was a Gauteng. Mzulu was a Gauteng.
Yes.
Where's Kulumi Zulu?
Yeah, she knows it. Yeah. She
Is
does.
Natal or Gauteng?
I think she's a bit rural.
You just called your girlfriend rural on TV. I'm just saying. Ma'am, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Who are we speaking to?
My name is Sibuyisiwe Mlonyeni.
Can we call you Sivu?
Yes, please.
Awesome.
My surname is Mlonyeni, and I'm from the Eastern Cape in King Williamstown.
Somebody whose surname is also Mlonyeni. Well, I studied in Grahamstown, so it's chances I would know somebody whose surname. She was she used to walk barefoot. Yeah, anyway.
Sorry. Mlonyeni?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
You might just know. Well, we don't know how small the Eastern Cape is or how big it is in terms of. Anyway, so what do you currently do?
I currently work. I'm a test analyst at Standard Bank. Okay.
What does a test analyst do?
Test software.
Oh, wow, so clever. That is so cool. That is so smart. Are you in a relationship?
No.
What does that know? Why? No.
Because I'm sure. Because I'm sure that I'm not in a relationship.
But the way you said it, I was just like, is it a bad thing to be in a relationship? I'm not, so it's fine. Together, we're in this, sisters.
You know, Mos.
No, I'm lonely, it's not a problem.
Bakhona bantu, you know.
Abenzani?
Friends.
Friends who do what?
Friends to chill with.
Nah, let's move on. Swiftly. Hello, sir.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine, thanks. And you?
Hey, that voice. Can you please tell the world what your name and surname is?
J.R. Akotia.
Sorry, wait, repeat slowly.
J.R. Akotia.
Yeah. Do you have a girlfriend?
Yes, I
Does
do.
she know she's going to be Mrs. Akotia?
I hope she does.
It's pretty dope. Anyway, who are you? Where are you from? What do you do?
I'm a law student from the University of Pretoria. Home is East London. What do? I read, I politic, I have fun with my friends. Generally, anything a young person would do, that's basically what we get up to.
You said generally what a young person would do. Do most young people read? Do they engage in politics?
I think most young people do read, but the content which they read is not really a content which would uplift their intellectual capacity or enable them to engage in issues of society today. On the question of involvement in politics, I think people are unconsciously involved in politics and they don't realize that the little decisions which they make every day are actually political in nature, but because of the incorrect content that one is reading, the political interaction is not known at the end of the day. And you could almost link it to the question of apathy in itself.
So what you strung a lot of big English words there. I was listening, I'm like, you know what, let me just cut this into chunks for myself so that I need to DD, you know what I mean? I ain't trying to be confused on my own show, please. So what you're saying is, let's start it from the top. We're saying South African youth are reading, but we are saying that they are not reading the right things. Now I know for a fact that in Soweto, when they opened up Maponya Mall, there was an exclusive box there. And I don't think it lasted more than even 12 months. So I'm going to be prone to say, are we really reading? And if yes, we are reading the wrong things, what should we be reading?
Okay.
Yeah, anyone can tell us. Tell us.
I think that I will agree partially with the JR, that it depends on the kind of material that you should be reading. But also I think you must also refer to what happens in the upbringing of young people. What is the curriculum at the schools and so on and so forth, because that's what determines what should the young people be ready. Because we'll find that the curriculum in the, more especially in high schools and so on and so forth, does not seek to, what can I say, uplift them so that they can be encouraged to be involved in what is happening in the country and how should they contribute positively. So I think it should start from the upbringing.
So what you're saying is in high school we're reading Macbeth.
Yeah.
Instead of reading Steve Biko.
Yes.
The syllabus or the curriculum says read Shakespeare. Yes. That's the literature we're reading. Yes. Instead of reading Ubanumda, they're making us read what's Roald Dahl, those kind of authors.
They're making us read the history of America, while we must read the history of Bambata Kamanglins. Yes. So that we know where we come from and we know where we should be going. Yes. We say, "Thy shall speak." What is that thing of Macbeth? We should read what I write what I like about Steve, because so that we know what we have been through and where we are going. I would agree with Junior that they are involved politically because taking a decision that you are not going to vote is a political decision itself. Yes. That you are not going to vote, it's a political decision. So they are involved either consciously or unconsciously.
Okay, that is exactly what I wanted to move to next. You said, JR said, that every day when you make decisions, it's the same thing people say, but why am I learning maths? I'm never going to use maths. Why am I learning to solve X? I'm never going to do that. But ultimately, that is, every day you are solving X in some way. So are we saying it's almost the same thing when it comes to making decisions? Politically, there is some political element to decisions that you make, as you gave an example of, I'm not going to vote. Or in actual fact, just saying I'm not interested in politics. That in itself is a political decision.
True. And the other thing that we always see, you know, on social media, everyone has an opinion about everything, Jay. People who have an opinion about the president, people who have an opinion about this political party, that political party, without knowing what's happening. People don't even know, Guti, how different parties elect leadership. They think that, no, why is this one there? And democracy is there. You don't take time to actually read and know what is actually happening. Guti, why is this process happening? It's not new. Things are not new. People seem to think that everything that's happening politically is new. It's not new.
Out of nowhere.
We have policies. Yes. We have constitutions. We are doing things that are on paper, and then people just have opinions out there, like without having information.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. I hear the argument that you're putting forward to say people, especially on social media, because, well, social media is given a lot of people access to have a voice. You were saying that people are making opinions or having opinions about things that they don't really understand and know. But here's my question. Why should I be a doctor? Why do I need to be a doctor to have an opinion about being sick and being ill? Should there not be a group of people who are supposed to know about politics? But obviously that doesn't stop the rest of us from commenting. You know what I mean? If you get what I'm trying to say, granted, there must be, okay, let me maybe rephrase my question. Are we saying everybody in South Africa is supposed to be politically inclined?
No, not necessarily.
What are we saying then? So, but wait. And here's my second part of the question. If we are saying no, we don't all have to be politically inclined, should they then not have an opinion because they're not politically inclined?
I think, look, you group them into two things. Okay, political inclination in itself, it means that it's a person who generally understands political dynamics and what's going on. You don't need to be in depth in terms of okay, this is how party X, Y, and Z runs. But what you actually need to have an understanding of is what is the purpose of political party, how the political system you live within actually operates. And those are simple things like which people don't understand. For example, if you remember, I think when they were voting in the new parliament, a lot of people didn't understand the process, how it works, and why are people voting, and why can't party X get this and that. And those are simple things. I mean, if you were to do I'd call it a silly comparison, but like if you would do a comparison between a person in the US and you'd ask them simple questions about their political state, how their Senate works, what is a congressman, they'd be able to say that. And it goes back to what Ndlovu was saying of the question of school curriculum. People are not taught these things in school that, look, Parliament has X amount of people. I mean, you go to varsity and if you're doing politics 101, you're going to learn that there. But how many of our youth actually get an opportunity to go to varsity? And it's not only a divide of people who are not, you can say that, no, it's people who aren't exposed, people from rural communities who don't have that understanding. But you also, what makes it strange in South Africa's context, that you also find that the people who are from very affluent backgrounds,
who just don't care,
who have all the access to information and they don't care. And it also goes back to what Ndlovu was saying of upbringing, because there's a situation of saying that if you stay in a family where on Sunday they do not buy the Sunday Times, you never find your mom and your dad reading something. Theirs is to watch Generations every day. It becomes inculcated into a child and you become used to that. And the next thing you do is that you fall into the trap. Look, social media has its pros and cons. But what you need to do is that when you engage in a topic, because you don't need to be a doctor, but what you actually need to do is to know from which angle you're coming from, because not everybody is going to be political. And in opinions, we can all contribute in terms of opinions. But here's something people forget, and we've raised this before, in terms, if you've ever read on these online newspapers, the comments at the bottom, yes. And how disgusting they are. Yeah. Now,
Media 24's shut them down.
Shut them down. And my question is, when you allow all opinions into the social media space and you have a 12-year-old child reading those opinions, what becomes of their political knowledge of the country they stay in? So opinions should be allowed, but at a certain time and point, must be able to shape those opinions such that they don't influence our younger generations, and we don't have a repetition of this question of, oh, people really don't care what's going on.
I'm just going to hold it right there. We're going to go for a quick ad break. I know Sivu is burning to say something. Like, she's been like, I'm trying to get in there some way. So when we come back, we're going to give Sivu a chance to tell us exactly how she feels about my question, because I feel like my question struck a bit of a nerve. And right after, you know, when you have now given us your I want to go back to what you've said, JR. You've said There's little things. Little to who though? Little to, there's little to knowing about tax if you're a tax person. There's little to knowing about education if you studied education. Same thing when it comes to politics. Us who have studied politics, we think some things are like simple. To other people, they're not that simple. Guys at home, please stay tuned in.